I've got my Lady Lumps mug this morning. Oh, I'm on the wrong filter. There we go. Happy Friday. Good morning. Hello, Denise. Hello, Nicole. I need to put my focus on. Okay. How's everybody doing? Hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that, TikTok. I had to put my do not disturb on. Good morning, Anna. Hi, Kate. Hi, Audrey. Audrey says hello to everybody and happy Friday. All right. Well, here we are. It's the last weekend of this month, which is crazy to me. Doesn't it feel like, did January go really fast or just for me? Okay, Cindy. Also, I will repost the playlist that you guys helped make on my stories today. Um, it is eclectic and I love it. And I will make sure to just go back and check and make sure I got everybody's song. But if you want to add music to the Aquarius playlist, you can do that. Just comment on the post that I'll share and I will add it to the Spotify playlist. I kind of love it. Just having like everybody's touch on the playlist has been cool. So I'll share that to you guys again. Good morning, Christine. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. If you follow me on Spotify, I have an incredible amount of playlists on there. Like so many. Like a lot of the playlists are the same songs because that's just me, but there's also so many there's like probably 3 years worth of zodiac playlists on there, plus yoga playlists and whatever else. So if you are interested in that, you can go find me on Spotify. Yeah, no, I mean any song you want, any song you want to add to it, a song you like right now, you know? Nothing super specific. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning, Beth. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how are we feeling? How are we feeling physically? And how are we feeling energetically? 1 to 10, with 1 being roadkill, 10 being a fully animated being. Good morning, Millennial Bruja. I'm glad to have you here live. Glad to connect. Good morning. Oh, Christine says, dare I say 8 energetically? Well, shit. Nicole is a 7-ish. Vera's energy is at a 4, but mentally about an 8. We'll take it. Beth is waiting on fruit, and then she'll be a 9. Okay. Stephanie's an 8 all over. Valerie's a 2. Difficulty sleeping last night. I did too. I was tossing and turning a lot last night. Good morning. We've got a 7-ish. Physically 8. Energetically 7. Okie dokie. Zuzu who? A 6. A 9. A 6. All right. B all day woke up craving a salad. Setting intentions for 9 today. All right. Oh, hi, Crystal. Crystal says Venus and Pisces sent me out to sea. Yeah. Other than lack of sleep, I'm a 7. All right. Did a fair amount of people have some issues last night with sleeping? I was tired. I went to bed early, but I just was tossing a lot. Just like couldn't get comfortable and just like I have weird dreams, but I can't remember them, but I know that they were like disrupting my sleep for sure. Good morning. Cheers. Rose is a 9. Get it, girl. Denise is a 6. Okay. Okay. Rosa says crazy dreams. Yep. All right. Well, you know, here's the thing. We haven't done a channeling in a while, aside from workshop, which sometimes creeps in there. But, let's just take a hot minute, just a hot minute this morning, and recognize that we've been talking, like here in this community, us together, we've been talking for a few years now about the things that are currently happening right now. And it's, when we talked, do you guys remember when we talked about this concept of holding two opposite things at the same time, right? And that we're going to be in a period of time where we're going to have to do that because you're going to have to hold extreme heaviness, extreme sadness, extreme pain, extreme violence in one hand. And on the other hand, can you also hold that things are going really well for you and you're happy and you are creating in this life and finding things that bring you inspiration? Can you hold both of those things at the same time? Because right now, this current iteration of the world is dying. It's not, there's not, it's not going to be repaired. It can't be. We don't want it to be, right? But in order for it to completely collapse, it's violent. This is a violent, thrashing, all consuming death. And it would be really remiss of us to just like be like, "Mm," I don't see it because it's there and you do see it. Things are going to get a lot crazier before they get a lot better. And that's just how the momentum is moving. And it is necessary, right? Um, and so our job, at least the way that I see it, our job is to do as much as we possibly can for our own healing right now, for our own mental health, for the shoring up of our own families and systems, because pretty soon there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be wide awake and absolutely displaced, and they're going to need help. And we're the ones who are going to be providing that help because we woke up a little earlier. And that's the only reason. There's not like, oh, we're better or this, or, you're more elevated or whatever it is. It's not. It's literally just timing. That's all it is. At some point, everyone's going to be involved in this situation because that's just how it is. It's just coming in waves. So we're a very first wave of a lot of things. We talk about this a lot, right? How if you look at your line of family, are you that person? Are you the person who started to question things and say like, well, no, why do we do it that way? Like that doesn't seem right. Are you the person who is doing that in your family? And if so, that's a really good indication for you that you're part of this wave of people who is also doing this for society at large, because every little thing we do for our own selves is connected to the collective. Because as much as we've been trained to believe that everybody is just a pocket individual, we are actually all connected energetically as the human beings on this planet Earth. It's a massive web of connected energy. And the only thing disconnecting us right now is our minds because we believe so fully that we are not supposed to be connected like that, right? And so it's a mess before it becomes organized, right? And we're the ones that are going to have to make the choices to change it, to do something about it, and not just sit back and be like, and it's small things that lead to big things. If you sit back and become paralyzed by the fact that you literally can't change the world right now, then you are going to sit back and be paralyzed and you're not going to do anything, right? But what's a small thing that you can do, especially as a person of privilege? Dive into that for yourself. What does it mean to be a person of privilege? I will tell you right now that every single person watching me at this time is absolutely a person of privilege, because the fact that you get to be here and watch me as we drink our coffee together is a privilege. And it doesn't mean like you need to feel bad about it. It just means recognize that you are not in the same space as so very many people right now, right? And I was just talking about this morning, like if you are able to get your place in life into a point where you are no longer in fight or flight mode, that means it's probably your job to help destroy the systems that are keeping so many people in fight or flight mode. We've been trained that when people are in bad situations, it's their job to get themselves out of it. But understanding what you know, just from a purely energetic perspective about being in fight or flight mode, you can't. You do need help. You need assistance. And to tell somebody that, oof, that shit's your problem when it's literally the world around us that has created this problem is wrong. So if you are in a place of privilege, which means you get to take a deep inhale and an exhale and eat every day and not constantly worry about everything attacking you at every one point in time, it's your job to speak out against injustices, be they tiny, seemingly tiny, or big ones, whatever it is, right? You can do that. And especially, I know a large demographic that watches me are white women. And white women are truly the ones who can rise up and do the biggest, do the most, right? So, hi, let's do it because I know based off of all of the things that show me the demographics that like 70% of my audience are white women between the ages of 25 and 55. You are the change makers. You are the ones. So, hey, wake up, right? Like, let's do this. That's why we're here. We're not here to like shake each other's hands and be like, look how spiritual and evolved we are. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay. If you're not actually doing something in your community to change the system. And if you are a person of privilege, you have the ability to do that. But you have to recognize it. It's not about being like, well, I'm such a good person. I'm not a racist. I'm not this. I'm not that. Congratulations. There's no participation trophies here. You need to actually participate and do something. So I say that because shit is going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. And if you are not part of the solution, you are passively the problem, even if you don't want to be. If you are not being vocal about injustices that are happening to people who are not in places of privilege, then you are supporting the opposite by your silence. Okay. It's not enough anymore. And I say that to myself as well, because I am a person who has always been in a place of privilege because I've never had to deal with being hungry and not having a home. Can you imagine? Like maybe you can, maybe that's been you before. Just remember those things, right? We can help each other. It's only an illusion of the mind that says we cannot. So it is a Friday. We're about to start February. Fire yourself up a little bit because this shit is going down. And you do not want to be on the wrong side of history with this one because it's not going to be going back to the way things were. It just isn't. I think we've all had enough. You know what I'm saying? So happy Friday. That is your little speech for this morning because I definitely woke up fired up. But let's get to the cards. So if you're new here, hello, welcome. It's Coffee and Magic. I'm going to give you 3 things. You choose which one feels most aligned with you and get your message for the weekend. Okay? All right. What are our 3 things going to be today? We're going to do different types of fire. How about that? Based off of the fire signs. So here's okay. So I'm going to tell you this first because I know my fire signs are going to be very specific about this. I'm going to give you the 3 fire signs, but don't just choose the fire sign that you have in your chart. I want you to really take a beat and just pick the one that hit you the most. Do you know what I mean? And, like, don't be like, well, I don't like Sagittariuses. Don't do that today. We're not. I'm going to give you three. And before I do that, I want to explain all three of these fire signs to you. Okay. So the three fire signs: Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. They have three distinct personalities when it comes to using fire. Okay. Aries is the primordial spark. It is the beginning. It's the bang. Okay. Leo is the bonfire. It's the warm fire that you come around and gather and connect with each other. Okay. It's that fire. Sagittarius is expansive fire. It's that burning arrow that shoots through the sky, leading into a new place. Okay. It's moving fire. So when you choose your fire, just make sure it's the one you're really feeling today. Okay. So Aries fire, Sagittarius fire, or Leo fire? Which fire are you feeling today? Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo? Drop it in the comments and I will shuffle. Aries fire, Sagittarius fire, or Leo fire? And yes, of course, you can choose more than one fire. But like I said, take a hot beat and just make sure that you are feeling it. And as always with Coffee and Magic pulls, if you feel like you can't pick one, like nothing's hitting, just don't pick one and listen to all three and just take what resonates for you. Okay. So you're choosing from Aries fire, Sagittarius fire, or Leo fire. Okay. And I'm shuffling. Whew. Don't look at that. No peeking. All right. I've got Aries fire on deck. Here's the G. Tell me when you're ready. Again, you're choosing from Aries fire, Sagittarius fire, or Leo fire to get your pull for the weekend. And this is going to be Aries fire. Okay. Everybody's ready. Everybody's like, okay, let's do this. All right. So if you chose the Aries fire, this is your pull. You've got the eagle. Eagle was here on Monday too, huh? So you got the eagle, you've got communication, and you've got the butterfly. So let's see what our story is. So eagle, communication, and butterfly. We're going to talk about this one first. Now, communication is kind of something that you heal and learn communication in phases. Let's put it that way. So this isn't your first tango with the communication. I think you've been focusing on this for a minute. It's come around, right? You've been acting and speaking more in alignment. Would you say that you are paying more attention to the words that you use, paying more attention to the fact that you need to communicate what you're feeling honestly, right? And also on the flip side of that, be able to actually listen when people talk to you and hear what they're saying, as opposed to listening to respond. So communication has been on deck for a while, right? Phase 1 and 2, let's say. You're entering phase 3 of learning about communication. And this means it's grow time. So it's not enough to be aware of the things. Now you really do have to practice them so they become reflexive, even if they're uncomfortable. Because what typically happens with communication is that, you figure out how to say the things, and then something will happen and kind of shoot you back into the place you were before, because that's the muscle memory. Okay. When you are in alignment, right? The energy works with you differently because it doesn't have so many things to go around, and it's not confusing for the energy. So when you think and feel and speak in the same column, right? Alignment, it's really easy for you to make the energy around you do what you want it to do because you're being very fucking clear. Like you're not saying you want something, but you really don't want it. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is your reminder to check in with that for yourself. Have you lapsed into some old habits, right? Are you lapsing into habits where you just say things to keep the peace and to smooth it over so you don't have to deal with other people's emotional reactions? Like, are you doing that again? Are you managing other people through your, you know, little white lies of communication or lack thereof? Tighten it up. Tighten it up. All right. It's better to not say anything than to say something that is not true just because you want things to just move faster or be easier and you don't have to deal with a hard thing. Okay. The hard thing you don't want to deal with probably really does need to be dealt with. And the more that you don't speak truth, the worse it's going to get. Okay. So this is your reminder to check in with that. At the same time, you've got the eagle and you've got the butterfly. The eagle is reminding you about your own integrity as a being, your integrity and your sovereignty, and how you are connected to your higher self at all times. So, really lifting yourself up, dropping those shoulders down, feeling super connected this way and rooted into earth space at the same time to kind of like feel yourself a little bit, feel that sovereignty, feel that integrity of being. That's really being impressed with the Aries and with the Aries choice this morning. Your integrity. You you've got to be consistent with that. There you gotta. You just gotta. You have got to be a person that when you say something, you mean it. People have got to trust you. It is imperative, okay? Then you've got the butterfly. And while, like a lot of times, butterfly is metamorphosis energy, in this deck, it really isn't. Butterfly is about slowing down to see the beauty in the small things, in the moments, okay? Just like remembering to do that while you're working on your communication, okay? So that is your Aries. If you're just joining us, we're doing different types of fire and based on the zodiac signs. And so the first one was Aries, the second one is going to be Sagittarius, and the last one is Leo. So if you're just popping in, maybe choose between Sagittarius fire and Leo fire. And I'll remind you that Sagittarius fire is a moving fire. It's expansive. It moves into different horizons. And Leo fire is like that big warm bonfire that you gather around with your friends. Okay. So those are the two fires we have left. I'm shuffling. Shuffling for Sagittarius fire. I personally have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. So if I were choosing, I'm going to choose Sagittarius fire, even though I told you not to choose it that way. But I do identify with that kind of fire more than any other type. I'm not really a pop off type of person. I'm more of a, I don't know, shoot off into the sky, see you later type of person. Bye. Oh, that's fine. Hey, Joel. Hey, Kit. All right. You guys ready for Sagittarius? Yeah, placing comment. It's like, good seeing ya. Okay. Y'all listing this mug, right? You know it has a butt. It's got a little tushy. It's got a butt and boobs. All right, we're ready. So this is the Sagittarius one. You've got Earth, focus, partnership. What the fuck is this one going to be about? Okay, let's see. So Sagittarius, this is the Sagittarius one. We've got Earth, focus, and partnership. Okay, so, oof, okay. Okay, so First, we're going to start with the earth, which is connecting, which is body stuff. Okay. So, for a really long time, your body has been affected negatively by the energetic consequences of your words spoken and words internalized. Does that make sense? Let me try to say it again. For a long time, your body has been energetically affected in a negative way by words spoken and words internalized. I'm just going to pause for a second to make sure that makes sense. Does it make sense? Okay. If it made sense, I'm going to need you to like kind of write that down for yourself if it's for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that was a like neon light. Okay. So, with that being said, words spoken and words internalized, your body has been greatly affected by that. There is healing that needs to take place at a physical level. And there needs to be a there needs to be a partnership between energetic and spiritual healing and medical treatment for a lot of us, okay? Which means there has to be a balance between the two and both need to be present, okay? So there are energy can cause an illness within your body that you then need medical treatment for. It's not one or the other. So just remember that. Like we don't do that here. So sometimes you need to go to the fucking doctor. And if that's you, please take this as a poke to please go get the things handled. Because while energy is going to help you, while energetic healing, spiritual healing, trauma work, and all of those things, they're going to help you, it is not the full picture. And once your physical body has undergone a trauma and is sick or has an illness, it has an ailment, it has a hurt part, it needs medicine sometimes, it needs therapy sometimes. Like that is okay. All right. So this is really trying to impress upon you that like it is both, guys. It is both. And remember, your body has been affected at a physical level by the energy of words spoken and words internalized. Okay? So, what does that also tell you? It also tells you that there needs to be a focus from this moment on the words that you speak and on the words that you let inside. It doesn't matter about yesterday or 10 years ago or 20 years ago when it comes to your body today. You can spend all your time in the past wallowing in that, or you can be here in the present and say, I am aware that this has happened and it has created this, and this. I am not bypassing that for myself. I am doing the healing work that I need to do. But I also know that every word I speak now, my body is still hearing. So if your narrative is I'm a broken person, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, you are still feeding your body that poison and expecting it to heal. Do you see what I'm saying? So there has got to be a focus on changing the words you're speaking. And if you're speaking different words, if you're speaking kindly to yourself, what does that do? Like especially when it goes out that way, right? Other people are going to hear that. You're going to affect other people too. And it's going to change the words that come back to you and the words that you choose to allow in. Okay? So that is your Sagittarius. Real specific. Oh, hi, Janelle. All right, the last one is going to be Leo. Hey, Tara. The last one is going to be Leo. So if you just joined us, maybe Leo is for you, or maybe you joined in the middle of that one and that was for you. I don't know. All is good. If you would like to catch the entire Coffee and Magic, all of them are found in my IGTVs and my YouTube. So you can find the whole thing, like all of them are there. All of them are there. Audrey, here's a question. What about partnership for Sag? Is that the medical slash energy together to heal? Yes. The partnership was both of them. The partnership was understanding that it is spiritual and it is physical. So some things require more than like, having energetic healing. Sometimes you need some medicine, sometimes you need an operation. Like it's a merging of the two things and having a balance. Okay, Leo. Leo. I need to hear it too. Okay, so this is going to be your Leo one, okay? Excuse me. Are you ready? Oh my God, you guys were like, yes, I'm ready. I didn't even have to tell you. Okay, well, if you chose Leo, here you go. Look, it's the goblin. Every time I see this card, I feel like he's saying, Nana, Nana, boo boo, right? That's his vibe. So, goblin, you got the eagle again, and you have the butterfly again. Wild, huh? Okay, let's see what the deal is. Oh my God. Oh God. All right. Let's start with our friend here. So, let's have our chat about ego again. So, goblin is connected to the concept of ego. And in our society, we've been really, really trained and taught that ego is something we have to master, control, or get rid of, right? It's like a conquering of this part of self that like somehow shouldn't be there. I need you to take a hot second, hot beat as it is, and just ask yourself, does that make any sense based on nature? Does it make sense that you would be born with a part of you that is inherently not supposed to be there, and you're supposed to spend your entire life mastering it and getting rid of it and whatever you want to do with it? Does that make sense to you? Like that you would just be designed with this like extra errant energy just to fuck around? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Everything in nature has a purpose. There is no waste. Energy is not wasted. Okay. So, anytime you run into a concept like that, where there's like an essential part of you that somehow needs to be fixed, that should be red flagging you and you should ask more questions. Okay. That should make you ask more questions. Anytime anybody says, like, this is an intrinsic part of you that's wrong, that's evil, that's sinful, whatever rhetoric is being used, religion, it should make you ask a question because it's real suspicious, right? That everything else in nature has use for every other part. And yet we have entire parts of us that are intrinsic to who we are that somehow are not supposed to be there and we need to fix and master. No sense to be made here. That doesn't make sense. So when it comes to the ego, the concept of ego, whatever that is, whatever it may be, whatever our current understanding of it is, this is the little voice in the back of your head, right? That tells you things. This is the voice that says, hey, don't do that because you're not good enough. Hey, don't do that because this, because that. Doesn't your ego sometimes sound a little bit like somebody else? Like, doesn't it sometimes sound like your mom? Doesn't it sometimes sound like a teacher you once had? Doesn't it sometimes sound like an article you read in like teen magazine that just like fucked your brain up? Like, think about these things because it's important, right? Right now, for the people who chose a Leo and for anybody else for whom this resonates, it's time to look at that voice in the back of your head and stop being so mean to yourself and act like there's something inside of you that needs to be dug out. If something is talking incessantly and trying to get your attention, maybe you should listen for a hot minute and see what it's trying to communicate to you. The ego is something that is useful if you allow it to come back in. Remember when I said in the beginning, I'm like, Nia Nia boo boo? This is like a toddler in some ways, okay? If you have everybody here in the party and you take the toddler and say, go sit in the corner, what is that toddler gonna do? God, the toddler wants attention. So it's gonna try to get your attention any way it can. And if you've already put it in the corner, how is it gonna get attention? By acting whack, right? Throwing things, crying, screaming, just whatever it can to get some energy on it. But if you pull that toddler back into the fold, it feels supported, loved, and like it's supposed to be there. Chances are the attitude is going to go down quite a few clicks, right? Because you're not ostracizing it. So pull it back in. Let's reintegrate the ego because it doesn't need to be a separate part of you that you attack. It's like attacking your hand. Why are you doing that? Bring it in, figure out what it needs to be doing. Chances are, we've talked about this a lot, ego just allows you to know where the boundaries of your known territory is. Okay. As long as you stay in your known territory, your ego's going to be okay. Your ego's going to say, like, we're right where we need to be, even if you don't like it, right? Because we know it, we understand it. The second you venture beyond the boundary of known territory, your ego flares up and says, this is dangerous. You're not good enough for it. Here's all the reasons your mom said you shouldn't do it. Here's all the reasons society says you shouldn't do it. Here's a laundry list of all your failures that should like make you go back. Your ego's actually trying to keep you safe, but it's not all knowing. You control it. So all you have to do when you feel that ego push, and this we're kind of getting to the point here, um, when you feel that bump that says, hey, like, don't do this, it's dangerous, or don't do this, you're not good enough to do this, it's not for you. Just remember, you've hit the boundary. So it's time to expand your territory. And once you expand your territory, scope it out a little bit, see if you like it, this will upgrade itself. It always does. If you go back and look at it through this lens, you'll see that it's happened many times in your life. Your ego will adjust, expand, and get to know the new territory. And then we just keep doing this and doing this. So it's not destroying the ego, it's teaching it and it's allowing it to create those boundaries for us and enforce them. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not something to attack, it's something to put to use. So there's that. And then you have the butterfly and the eagle again. And this again is just what it was before. Connecting to higher self, understanding yourself from that higher perspective, that you are so much, you have so much, you are connected to so much magic, you are so divinely supported. And in order to understand that, the simplest way to feel connected to that bigness is to notice the beauty in the small details all around you, right? Notice it. Notice the moments that feel good to you. Luxuriate in them, create more of them. You are allowed to have beauty and peace and joy in your life. Not only are you allowed to, it is required as a human. We are very aesthetic beings. We are affected by environment and textures and smells and colors. Like we are that. We love it. Why do we love art so much? Why are we so moved by it? More of that, more of that to connect you to more of this. Okay. And the more you do that, this will come along for the ride. Just like stop being mean, right? Just like say, okay, come on, we're going to teach you how to do this. And it's going to expand and it's going to be amazing. So that is your Leo message for this morning. It's jam-packed 39 minutes on this Friday morning. Thank you for being here with me today. If you are not on my mailing list, why? Go do it. It's at sarahamala.com. I just updated the front page of my website, so everything is very clear. Anytime I open up one-on-one sessions, if there's going to be a live channeling or whatever, if I'm canceling Coffee and Magic or shifting it, I will send out an email through that list. It's the most it's the easiest and most consistent way to know what is going on around here. So make sure you're on the list. I don't spam. I don't even really send that many emails. Honestly. So that's available, sarahmala.com. Remember, it's Sarah with an H. And otherwise, I love you. Have an amazing weekend. It's the last weekend of January. I will be back on Monday at 8:30 a.m. And someone just asked me, is that gray hair? Yeah, it is. I have so much gray hair. Do you love it? Okay. So thank you for that TikTok. And I will see you Monday. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Mwah. Ah.